For the past 75 years, the Hawaii Credit Union League has been the leading advocate for Hawaii's credit unions. Your league has been instrumental in guiding, educating, and representing credit unions through decades of triumphs and challenges. In 1934, Congress passed the Federal Credit Union Act that established the Federal Credit Union System. This act also created the Bureau of Federal Credit Unions, predecessor to the National Credit Union Administration. In 1936, 7 teachers on the Big Island found it impossible to obtain financial help from banks. Attracted to the credit union philosophy, these teachers pooled $30 to charter the Big Island Teachers Federal Credit Union, the first credit union in Hawaii. Credit unions on Oahu and Maui also began forming that year. First Hawaiian Homes, FCU on Molokai, was chartered in June 1937, followed by 3 Kauai credit unions in February 1938. 9 months later, Hapko Lanai FCU received its charter. On December 3, 1936, 14 credit union members representing these pioneering credit unions signed the Preamble, Constitution, and Bylaws of the Hawaii Credit Union League. On January 12, 1937, an organizational meeting to establish the Hawaii Credit Union League was held at the Central YMCA. On February 24, 1938, the first league annual meeting was held at the Pacific Club. The budget of $1,000 was approved. On April 20, 1938, Charles Hudson was named League Managing Director. The League office was established in the Schumann Building. In 1939, League operations became full-time. League chapters began forming throughout the islands. On October 11, 1941, a 3rd annual dance was held to raise funds for League operation expenses. $1,955 was raised. In April 1951, the League's annual meeting was held on Maui. In 1953, E.G. Dublé was named League Managing Director. A year later, Thomas Moriki was hired as a field man. On April 14, 1956, the League Building Committee began fundraising during International Credit Union Week. League Chairman Ira Bayshore and Fred Tamura visited chapters and credit union annual meetings to encourage participation in raising $80,000 for a League building. On June 2, 1961, land at 1654 South King Street in Honolulu was purchased for the League building. The dedication ceremony was held on April 21, 1963, in conjunction with the League's 25th annual convention. Construction of the League building was completed in May 1963. By 1963, there were 172 credit unions operating throughout the 50th state, with 100% League affiliation. The average credit union member had $575 in savings, and credit unions paid an average 5% in dividends. In 1968, Hawaii Credit Unions approved formation of HCU Services Corporation to offer supplies, collections, auditing, data processing, and printing. In the 1970s, technology advanced rapidly. Competing financial institutions were implementing automated systems. Consumers were seeking convenience and more services. The League focused on helping credit unions do better than the competition. Credit unions began offering a full range of financial services, including access to clearinghouses, electronic funds transfer systems, central liquidity, and correspondent relationships. In September 1972, the first student credit union in Hawaii was formed. Konawa'ena Student Credit Union was chartered under and mentored by Kona Community FCU. On May 29, 1973, Governor John Burns signed the Hawaii Credit Union Act into law, allowing people to join a central credit union. Pacific Corporate FCU was established on November 8, 1978. In 1979, Edmund Leong was hired to replace Franka Ho'okele as League President. The 1980s began with interest rates reaching historic heights and a dubious economic future. For credit unions, the deregulation of shares, share certificates, and share drafts opened a whole new marketplace. However, the regulatory alphabet soup complicated the simple process of managing shares and loans. On June 16, 1982, Governor George Ariyoshi signed Act 258, a recodification of the Hawaii Credit Union Act. League Vice President Michael Assam spent many hours lobbying on behalf of the League. The 1980s saw League educational programs expand to cover topics such as mortgage lending, asset liability management, investments, robbery, pricing concepts, and budgeting. The League offered credit unions technical assistance, supplies, audits, compensation surveys, marketing aids, a subsidized ratio analysis program, and planning sessions. In 1986, Peter Leong was promoted to League president. Winds of change marked the beginning of the 1990s for credit unions nationally and here at home. The Financial Institutions Reform, Recovery, and Enforcement Act sparked a national movement called Operation Grassroots. This was designed to ensure credit unions continued to exist in uncertain times. In 1991, your league led 65 Hawaii credit union representatives to the Operation Grassroots rally in Washington, D.C. Over 12,000 credit union officials from all 50 states gathered to proclaim their commitment to credit unions. The Hawaii congressional delegation signed a joint resolution in support of Hawaii's credit unions and opposing any merger of the National Credit Union Share Insurance Fund with the Bank Insurance Fund. On July 1, 1992, the League welcomed Dennis Tanimoto as its new president. On September 11, 1992, Hurricane Iniki roared across Kauai and West Oahu, damaging credit unions with torrential rains and devastating winds. Your league collected $60,000 for credit union employees and officials affected by the hurricane. The relief fund touched 8 of the 9 Kauai credit unions, as well as West Oahu Community FCU. Helping credit unions understand new regulations was one of the League's primary goals. This included a year-long plan in 1994 to educate credit unions on truth in savings. Your league increased its emphasis on educating and assisting credit unions in financial counseling, effective loan collections, and dealing with bankruptcy filings. Public relations efforts created and maintained a favorable image of credit unions in the community. In the mid-1990s, over $10,800 was raised for families of 3 Hawaii rescue workers who perished in a helicopter accident. Over $7,750 was raised in one day for the United Cerebral Palsy Association of Hawaii. Your league also promoted chapter credit union awareness projects during International Credit Union Week. In 1997, the Credit Union Membership Access Act, H.R. 1151, was introduced in Congress. Credit unions throughout the nation mounted a grassroots effort to educate Congress about H.R. 1151 through the Credit Union Campaign for Consumer Choice. Hawaii's congressional delegation, Representatives Patsy Mink and Neil Abercrombie, and Senators Daniel Inouye and Daniel Lakaka voted for its passage. On August 7, 1998, President Bill Clinton signed H.R. 1151 into law, clarifying field of membership issues and affecting the way federally insured credit unions conduct business. It was the most significant legislation since the Federal Credit Union Act of 1934. In 1998, the League endorsed Children's Miracle Network through the Credit Unions for Kids program.
Year number 5, the 2011 Kapiolani Radiothon for Kids, live from Kapiolani Medical Center.
Hawaii credit unions raised $51,800 that first year. To date, Hawaii's credit unions have raised over $460,000.
$300. Wow. Awesome, Barbie.
Advancements in technology, economic uncertainty, and regulatory complexity marked the beginning of the new millennium for credit unions. Your league sought innovative ways to help credit unions face new realities in this challenging environment. To help credit unions keep abreast of industry changes, the League introduced the first annual Lending Compliance School, Human Resources Compliance School, and Consumer Lending Institute. Distance learning through webinars and audio conferences was implemented. The first League Operations Compliance School also debuted. The League implemented Ask a Lawyer to offer credit unions general legal advice at no cost, and presented a series of free sessions to help credit unions understand the Financial Abuse of Elders Act 94. In 2008, the League launched a public advocacy campaign with the theme Hawaii's Credit Unions, a Better Value for a Better Way of Life. Free marketing materials were created to promote this program. The League also collaborated with other leagues to initiate the compliance guide called InfoSite. In July 2011, your league unveiled its new website that boasted a cleaner design and easier navigation. The new website features updated news affecting credit unions, easy access to the league's educational calendar and online registration, links to business partners, county, state, and federal websites, a matrix of current elected officials, and links to regulatory resources. Today, Hawaii's credit unions continue to face adversity, and your league is here to help. The league provides a web-based financial analysis tool called CU Analyzer and CU Policy Pro, a customizable policy management system. Your league also allows credit unions to update their information on a website designed to educate consumers on credit unions and help them find one to join. These resources are offered at no cost to credit unions. In 2012, your league tirelessly worked the halls of the state capitol to protect the best interests of credit unions. Reviewing hundreds of bills throughout the legislative session, staff focused on areas affecting credit unions as not-for-profit financial institutions, businesses, employers, and more. Two key issues in 2012 were the mortgage foreclosure law and general excise tax exemption. The League helped to eliminate portions of the mortgage foreclosure law that was damaging to credit unions. Staff also ensured the tax exemption suspension would be lifted on July 1, 2013. Your League also proactively sought and secured experts to address matters of importance through special interest educational programs and established business partnerships with vendors to serve the evolving needs of credit unions. The past 75 years have brought many changes to Hawaii's credit unions, from field of membership to emerging technologies to regulatory and legislative issues. The Hawaii Credit Union League continues to advocate for the best interests of credit unions, keeping credit unions educated on timely issues and providing resources to help them succeed.